Oh, what's this? Looks like a pile of detritus. Let's put it together and destroy, destroy. Ah! Time for Wakeangel 2001's Construx retrospective.
Hello out there, it's Wakeangel2K1 back again with the Construx retrospective. And today we are going to dismantle the submersible, which keeps wanting to dismantle itself. Seriously, what even was that? Why did they come up with that? So we're going to be dismantling the submersible to build the next thing in the series, which is the helicopter with its mobile landing platform. Now, I'm going to come right out here. The helicopter appears to have the string and pulley attachment. Like it's a little crank where you like lower a string. I don't have that string anymore. And the pulley wheel, you guessed it, Max chewed it up. So I'm going to be building this, and it's not likely going to have the pulley on it. So yeah, let's just throw that out there. Okay, so one propeller rotor, the antenna thingy, and the pulley wheel. Those are the three components so far that I appear to have either lost or have gotten damaged. So far, however, hasn't really seemed to affect the set too much, but let's see how things come out. I'm making a pause in the construction because when I got to the part where I was making the rotor, this kind of is going on. The instructions say to take these two flexible bands and attach them to the rotors in this fashion. I'm guessing that this is supposed to brace them or make them less, do something. But as you can see, it kind of pushes it out of alignment. It's not a straight up cross anymore. See? It's pushing the pieces like into a narrower X shape instead of a symmetrical cross. And I don't like that, especially with the advanced age of these parts. I feel like I'm putting unnecessary strain on the plastic connectors. In other words, I feel like this is going to damage I think it's going to damage the pieces, and I don't like that. I don't want to damage my pieces. So the final construction of the helicopter as I'm building it is not going to have these bracers on the crossbar, but that's my choice. I am actively choosing not to have these there, as opposed to, yeah. The pieces are not missing, I'm just choosing not to use them is what I'm trying to get at. And you see, it's a much more comfortably symmetrical cross this way, and I'm not stressing 20-plus-year-old plastic parts to do so I think I'm going to leave it like this.
So here are the two items side by side, the helicopter and the mobile platform. As you can see, they are quite large. Each tile on my floor is 12 inches on a side, so, a foot. And like I said, Construx makes things big, so you do make some pretty impressive sized things. It's just, with these, sure they're large, but why? I mean, that mobile platform doesn't really seem to have much discernible purpose because the helicopter looks really weird on top of it. And although the helicopter itself does look rather large, it's also very spindly. Now, I do know that helicopters do look like this sometimes. I mean, the more weight you can keep off, the better. But, this isn't practical helicopter building kit. This is a toy for kids that want to make cool looking stuff. So why is the helicopter so gangly looking? Anyway, let's go back to live recording.
Well, that one was an ordeal. The build time for this one was 51 minutes. That's like one of the longest build times. And you know what? I don't think I liked it. I did not like this build. It was not very satisfying. And another thing, I believe that this is the first instance of a typo in the instructions. Yeah, imagine this. Alright, let's turn this around so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, it's here on the tail. You see, it specifies to use these two blue cubes halfway on the tail. But when it zooms down to show what it should look like assembled, there's gray squares there instead of the blue ones. So someone who's building the set would use these blue parts and then wonder why it doesn't look like the thing. I mean, I know it's a relatively minor error, but you know, that held me up a bit. I'm like, wait, why doesn't this look right? So, yeah, like an actual factual typo. As for the build itself, like I said, this is a two-parter. And here's the helicopter. Pretty long helicopter. It's longer than my shoulders are broad. I don't know. I don't like it. It is not a very satisfying helicopter to me. I mean, it does have some things going for it. I mean, it has an interesting bit of asymmetry. Like, you can see the engine block on this side, and on the other side is an access hatch instead. So, you know, making a nice little bit of asymmetrical design. Over here, you can see the crank, where if I still had the pulley wheel, this is where the hook would drop down. I still have the hook piece, I just don't have the pulley. You have a tail rotor that spins independently. And like, because of the way the rotors are shaped, they can actually make a little bit of a breeze if you spin it fast enough. But, I don't know. It's not a very sexy helicopter. It's kind of like, it's one of those gangly little spindly helicopters, you know, it's meant to fly with a single pilot, but it's not really made to look interesting. Like, this is it's not a cargo or military or passenger helicopter. It's just a spindly, functional little helicopter that doesn't exactly look particularly good. It's at least balanced. You can put it on its pontoons and it won't tip over on you, so there's that. But yeah, it's not really the most fantastic looking helicopter ever. And the landing platform, or whatever the heck this thing is supposed to be, as you saw from the still images, the helicopter does fit on here, barely. And when it does, the rotors have like a millimeter of clearance above this satellite dish. Like, can you imagine trying to land a helicopter on this mobile platform when the slightest tilt could cause it to shear off the top of this satellite dish or whatever it's meant to be? I mean, maybe this isn't actually supposed to be something the helicopter itself lands on. Maybe it's like you're supposed to like drop whatever the helicopter is carrying onto this little platform. But these two things on the back which brace it, they scrape the ground as you roll it along on the wheels. So like when you're like, I'm gonna roll my little ramp thing, that is not a happy sound. I mean, it does have an articulated ramp. That's kind of a nifty thing. Although, yeah, like I can fold this up like that, and then I can fold this. So, you know, it's kind of cool that it has an articulated ramp. That's kind of a nifty built-in feature. Although the lights keep wanting to come out because they're attached to the ramp with hoses. I don't know, random hydraulic hoses. The only cool thing I can say about this assemblage, aside from the articulated ramp, is like there's a crank here with a built-in gearing system. That makes the satellite thingy rotate around. Although that took a long time to make. Like that construction, it was a bit of a complicated mess. Ooh, there was a piece. Oh, did I screw up? Oh, there we go. Huh. All right. Yeah, but that was a minor misassembly I did, but that's not. It wouldn't affect the whole thing that I was talking about. Yeah. Like, that's it. That's kind of all it has going for it. Like, because this is too blunt for, like, a Hot Wheels car to roll up onto. And it's not like this thing comes with a little car that can fit on the ramp. I don't really see what this is all about. Like, maybe... Okay, if I'm to interpret this... Maybe they just wanted the helicopter on its own, but the parts count for the helicopter was really low. Perhaps they intended to put this helicopter in a smaller set, but I don't know, none of the smaller sets had all the pieces, so they put it in the biggest set. But then considering how few parts it actually uses, they had to justify the part count for the set with that second vehicle assembly, so you have two things. I don't know. Like, I don't know. Maybe there's some helicopter enthusiasts out there who think that this is the awesomest thing I've made so far. But as far as I'm concerned, this is kind of the least interesting thing I built so far. I don't like it. Like, yeah, sorry about that, guys, but this is not the best helicopter. It's, like, that thing that you build to go with it doesn't really seem to have much purpose aside from using up parts in the box. And the helicopter itself is unsatisfying. I would have preferred if they just used more of the parts to make a sexier helicopter. Like, make it bulkier, make it like a military cargo copter or something. But this is... it's kind of low effort as far as helicopters go. Alright, so... I guess that's my judgment. I'm not going to be universally positive. It's not like everything from my childhood was automatically fantastic because it was my childhood. Let's see. Ooh. The next build looks pretty cool. Some kind of space dune buggy thing. Yeah, that's just a crazy out there vehicle. So that should be something fun to make. And there were no recommendations for other cool building ideas on this page, so we're gonna let that go. Alright, so we'll see you next time with another Mega Construx retrospective. I mean, the original Construx retrospective. Alright, with Wakeangel 2001 signing off.